whatever show. Whatever means like we're just gonna cover a couple different aspects of credit cards and businesses. Lately, I've been getting a lot of requests on talking about what the economy is starting to do with the car market and the housing market. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Boyd Hunter, what's up, brother? How are you doing? Caught your show yesterday. Didn't finish it because I caught it late. But sounds like you got a lot of good advice going on. I like that your partner called you on live when you were doing your first podcast. That was cool. And you called them out. I like that. I need to get on the next one so I can ask some questions with you. Definitely gonna put it on my alarms to get on there. How you doing down there in Australia? Yeah, I saw that. I like how you did it. Hey, man, you're already interrupting, so it is what it is. What's your question? I love that, boy. I guess you're gonna be at SEMA, so it'll be nice to meet back up with you at SEMA. Cool, cool, cool. So today I don't have a basic topic. I just have an all around because I've got a whole bunch of questions from a few different people. Kind of like what Boyd's kind of doing is ask Boyd, on his flat glass 10 questions. We kind of do something similar today. Is a few different whatever topics come up, we'll just answer those. I'm gonna start doing just a 30-minute show to keep it more interesting, unless we have a guest and we have something that's going to be a longer conversation. So, for the most part, right now, everybody's talking about how interest rates are keep on going up. Are they gonna come down anytime soon? And from what everything that's financially being talked about is no, it's not gonna come down. 7% is gonna be your average good rate right now, for the most part, for both your housing market and your average deal on cars and stuff. Now you'll have here and there promos where the dealers will give you a little bit better, like 4.9. If they're really desperate, maybe a 3.9. But are we gonna see 0% interest? Are we gonna see zero point 0.9, 1.9 interest on a lot of vehicles? I doubt it. Maybe down towards November, December, if they have old models that needs to be pushed out because new models are in. That is one thing I want to kind of cover on it. I just had a brother that tried to go get a vehicle just last week, and with excellent credit, and I'm talking about excellent credit being over 780 credit score, they were trying to get him at 8%. And he was like, no, 8% is too high. Mary in the house. What's up, Marion? So I wanted to kind of share what credit scores are currently offered through credit unions, because what the option used to be before is like, if you're gonna go get anything, whether you're gonna get a house or whether you're gonna go get a car or anything, is know the market first, know what the interest rate is available through your own banking, whether you use a credit union or a traditional bank. What's going on, Tim? How you doing, brother? Tim is out with his daughter doing some baseball stuff with Avery. It looks like she hurt her arm. I hope she's doing good, bro. I saw the cast on the left arm on one of your posts. So my thing about right now is, because I had a couple people reach out about, hey, like, what's a good interest rate to have when you're getting a vehicle? Well, the last thing I just checked, which was a couple days ago, with my credit union, which is Georgia's own credit union, and it's going to be very similar with a lot of them, is um, credit unions are offering 8 or 9% APR on vehicles being purchased. So credit unions are typically very competitive with what the market is out there. Now, if you have a dealership that has their own promos going on, or they got some back ends happening, or the manufacturer's offering some stuff, you can get better deals on it. But I guarantee you, those deals are only going to happen to the cars that are not moving. If you're looking at a housing is going to be the same thing. 6.5 to 8% is what most housing is at right now. And from what all the housing financial gurus are talking about, 7.5% is going to be your average APR. If you were one of the few lucky ones that were down in the 2-3% when the market was down and you refinanced, like I did, hold on to those properties. Um, do not refinance those properties for any reason unless you have no other option, because the interest rate you got, that 2 or 3% or even 4%, that is not going to be happening anytime soon. If you look at history, um, most interest rate for most people usually paid was around 7%. So what a lot of people are saying, hey man, 7% is really high right now. It's not. It's what the standard is. If you look at into banking, most banks don't make money until they're making 3.5%, because that you got to realize the banks have to run their institution, to do all the documentation, to upkeep with everything. They got to bring in about 3.5% to cover all their costs for the loan. So because the banking needs to cover cost operations, they also got to make money. So on traditionally, banks is gonna need to make at least 2% to make some kind of money on it. So if they're not charging you 5.5%, then they're not really making money on it. So because they've got a lot of loans out there that's in the twos and the threes, which they're losing money on because what the economy had forced them to do, now they're gonna stick with that 7.5% to balance out, and they're gonna throw a lot of tricky words and promos towards you to refinance, give you that fake dream of like, hey man, get that kitchen done, remodel, whatever, to get you out of that that 2, 3, 4% interest rate and get you into the current market. Again, if you're at that, like I locked in my house at 2 and some percent. When I talk to my financial advisor that is doing the housing, he's like, hey man, the house you got, turn it into, if you want to get another house and you can afford another house, go ahead and get another house. But the one you got at that 2 some percent, turn that into a rental, because you'll be killing it with the rent you're gonna get in. The next thing about rental properties is, if you are in Atlanta area or in a lot of areas that I'm starting to find out, a lot of the new areas that's being built are being built to rent only. They're not being built to sell. So a lot of the communities, whether it's a townhouse or whether it's single family homes, a lot of those are being built for a lot of these bigger financial people, companies that are buying in a whole community and they're just renting. Two reasons for that is, one, we're almost turning into a third world country where we either have the really rich or really poor. Two, the new generation really can't stay at one place for too long. They really don't care about the traditional home loans and having the stress of having a home loan. Forget that. Most people don't even want to go with a 3-year lease on their car anymore. They want to flip out that car every 6 months, 9 months. Just look at the new, I forget what that company is. There's a new car company that gives you opportunity to change out your car at any time. Like you can upgrade, downgrade anytime. You're paying a membership fee, but you're able to change out your vehicle whenever you want. So the problem with that is because you don't have a lot of traditional purchasing, a lot of your communities are now turning into rental only properties. And who's going to own those rental properties? That's going to be your big billionaires, millionaires that's got large portfolios and they're buying the whole community. I literally have 8 communities around me within probably 10 miles that all of them are rental only. They build, 50 houses, 70 houses, 60 houses, and they're all for rent only. And they're good rent. I'm talking about like $2,800 starting off rent. That's a good chunk for rent, guys. Even with how much inflation is going on in Atlanta, if you're paying $23 or $3,000 in rent, that's all money that's wasted because rent, you're not getting any of that back. If you're buying a house, even if your principal is only 1/3 of it or 1/4 of it, at least there's something going back in and you're eventually building equity. With rental, there's no equity. There's nothing there. So those are a couple of things that I just want to kind of talk about. All right, let's catch up on some of the chats. We just got back from practice, but she out for a while. Yeah, I saw that arm, man. Hope she gets better quick. Brian Phillips in the house. What's up, Brian? That's cheap. I paid $19.37 for a 1-bedroom apartment. That's what I'm talking about, Brian. So like, if you look at like, I've got a new property that just got built about 2 blocks over. Well, not 2 blocks over, 2 streets over. That is, I believe it's an 85 unit subdivision, and it's all 4 bedroom houses, and their starting rent for that is $2,800 to $3,200. I mean, dude, and that's all those are. Even when they were still building it, you couldn't purchase that because they were all these properties only. So there's somebody sitting with that portfolio with 80 houses, and on average, they're taking home $3,000 a house. Dude, that is, a lot of dough to bring in every month. Even if your payment is, let's say $2,500. And if you're only making 500 at 80 houses, you're making $40,000 a month, man. That's how these rich people make money. 40,000 a month, and just take that times freaking 12 months. There's your $500,000 right there for that one community. And these guys, and usually it's either going to be a single large person or a group of investors that makes a portfolio that will go in on these, and they'll buy them, they'll build them. And if they're building it with the builder that they have a connection with, or the builder has some kickbacks in on it, they're getting it for really cheap because they're paying almost wholesale pricing. And the house that's on the market typically for $450, they're probably banking it in for good $60,000 to $100,000 less, because now they've got, instead of you building one house, you build 80. So if you tell a builder that, hey, I want you to do 80 houses, I guarantee you're going to be able to easily save $100,000 a house if the house market is $450,000 or $500,000. So there's this initial saving right there. Again, if you're taking $3,000 and you're a banker, for most of the time, a lot of these guys are taking their portfolios and they're leveraging other properties to buy these properties, and they're not paying the higher interest rate that we are paying. Even with the $2,500 payment, you're taking $500 a home per house. Like I said, that's $500,000 for that one subdivision that's right up there. And I know about 8 or 10 of them around me. That's subdivisions. Then on top of that, you got this damn townhouses. Townhouses are popping up like crazy, townhouses or apartments, and they're building anywhere from 300 to 600 units per uh, you know project. That's your problem right there, guys. That's why the market is not gonna come down on interest, is because it's the new mentality, the new generation. They don't want the stress. They don't care about having a property. They don't care about having what you call it. Oh God, I'm lost for words right now. Is equity. Their thing is, I'm gonna live by the paycheck, and America is slowly turning into make the paycheck, live by the paycheck, and that's it. A lot of people that had savings with the new inflation, you're dipping into your savings every month, and you're barely keeping up with it. I paid 700 for 3 bedroom, 2 baths, 2 car garage in Florida. Is that current brand? Cause man, I was in Orlando 2006, and back then I was paying on a 3 bedroom, 2 bath. I believe I was paying 1350 in Orlando near Kissimmee. Um, but that is super cheap if you're paying 700 bucks, and that's current. Um, I don't know any market that has that cheap of a rate right now. 700 bucks. I mean, shoot. In Atlanta, you have to go to subdivision 8 to kind of get that kind of pricing for apartments these days. Even those apartments are around $800-900. So we're gonna be all over the place today because, like I said, today is whatever. We talk about that. We talk about business, business growth, business ventures, business advertisement. There's a lot of new way of advertising. So I do want to say one thing on that is, guys, be careful with all this online advertising and spending money with false, or I don't even want. I'll keep it safe. Yeah, false advertising. Like with people promising you they'll get you so much lead. Um, with if you go in and get on their program, um, I would be very careful on that. That I see that is a big scam that's going on. A lot of guys will overpromise, underdeliver, where it should be the other way around. If you do it yourself, you have to do so much more to get your return back, but it's cheaper. But then you're just handling a lot more. With all this new AI stuff, that's something else that you have to be careful with. One thing I would recommend is the Chat GBT. Uh, do invest in that because a lot of people are getting into it. It's not a big investment for 20 bucks a month. You got this AI that will answer a lot of your questions, make it more professional, uh, give you good content to build off of. It's something that I'm playing around with, and it's working, and it's only 20 bucks, so you're not throwing away a lot of money, but you're building something from it. Yes, I do wraps. I've done a few different cars. I've got wrap on my hood. I'm about to rewrap my SUV as well. I've got some Avery. Uh, what is it? Evergreen Jungle. Gonna do that. Jeremy, congratulations on that, bro. I saw that you won that championship. Congratulations. And congratulations to Pro Tent LLC, which is Jeremy's company. I love it. There's you. Come in. Oh, hat's coming. Okay. I'm trying to see what the heck that is. Do you have classes available? Brian, are you asking Marion or are you asking me? Marion does the classes for 3M rap. I've taken the Avery class up at Jim Miller's place. That's where I got that, and then I've taken a lot of the online courses and tricks through tin, Rap Institution. Um, I'm a follower of them, and I used to follow the guy out of Canada. That's when I first got into it, Chris, up in Canada. But I'm now Jason. I forget what his last name is, Petit or something. It's with a P. He's got the Rap Institution, and I'm a member of their online, and I follow a lot of his tips and tricks, which are really handy on doing some of the stuff. But rap is really cool. I love rap. Rap is a lot forgiving. You can make a lot of mistakes and fix yourself. The only thing you got to worry about is the glue lines, making sure that you don't end up with a lot of glue lines and you don't end up with a lot of pullbacks. So hopefully, I'm actually supposed to be going out to see Marion about getting some advanced tips and tricks on that uh, here in the near future. But if you want to crash course on some of the basics on rap, man, you're more than welcome to come on down and spend some time. Uh, we can chop up. You can play with some stuff. I've got a couple different. I've got some 3M 1080 and 2080 wraps. I've got some uh, Avery material. I even got some Vivid material that we did our work truck for. We did a camouflage with theirs. So you're down the street. So if you want to swing by, swing by. And don't forget my class in charge in December, Cash. Yes, that's exactly what I was talking about. That Marion's gonna hook it up for me and a few of the guys to have a one-on-one for one day where we're gonna go have fun. Yeah, one more week for WFCT. Heck yeah. So that's another thing. I've talked about previously before, and I'll talk about it again. Is that classes, these conventions, these trainings. Uh, these are all learning and growth that you need to continue. Doesn't matter how old you get. If you keep on learning, you keep on growing, you'll never stop earning money because you're gonna open up a lot more stuff for yourself. Cash, what don't y'all do? Hey man, diversify, man. Diversify your investments and diversify yourself, so that way you can do a lot of stuff. Honestly, Jeremy, I save a lot of money by doing a lot of stuff. Either me or my brother, we all kind of do different stuff. Like I've done some electrical work, and I've trained him, and he's now a better electrician than I am. Originally I was an IT nerd. I worked for Hewlett Packard for a little bit, and I kind of got out of that because of family and got into the tire and wheel business. But there's a lot of stuff, man. You just got to learn a lot of these trades, so that way you can build, man. Like you can, I talk about money being a financial thing being hard is because I've been through a lot of hardship, man. Um, I've talked about where my credit was so screwed up that I couldn't even get an iPhone, and they wanted more money than what the iPhone was worth. Invest in yourself, exactly. The best way to invest in yourself is have a lot of trades, have a lot of knowledge. Knowledge is power. 48 in my account. $1.848 million in your account, Jeremy. I mean, that's 1.48. I don't know what that means. At the end of it, that could be cents, that could be dollars, that could be thousands, that could be millions, man. That's very, unknown. And don't forget the growth conference in Vegas. Yes, I'm already signed up. Marion, I was one of the first ones, and I got the VIP because of Eric Devash. Thank you to Eric Devash for hosting their thing, and they offered, one of the first three to sign up, and I signed up right away because I was at their growth conference last year. It was very knowledgeable. It was very you get to see a lot of these guys that's been killing it in the business to take away something, and there's always, doesn't matter if it's SEMA show, if it's tenor battles, if it's the family reunion. I haven't been to WFCT, so this is gonna be my first WFCT. Is that there's always something that I'm always taking away something from either the event or somebody at the event. I've been going to SEMA for so long, almost 25 years, and every SEMA there's always something that is worth the trip to take back and apply into your business, into your life to have a good growth and do good for the rest of the year. Uh, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. 1.48 million, right? 48 cents. Yeah, Jeremy, we believe that for sure. Uh, all right. I like that. I grew up poor, so you learn how to do stuff or die. Laugh out loud. I mean, how we're able to implement things you learn at the growth conference it is into your business. Yeah, I mean, so there's a lot of good stuff. They're supposed to redo the book that they had. The book had good guidelines, good fundamentals that you can build off of. But some of the speakers that they had over there, man, they really were inspirational on their speech, on how their business is laid out. If you Ryan from PFS, man, that guy is all about numbers, which I connect with because, again, it's about numbers. Numbers is how you're gonna succeed, man. If the numbers are not working out, no matter what you got, it's not worth it. If you're busting your ass 7 days a week and all you're doing is turning cash flow and you're not taking home anything, what does that do? I mean, I had a business where I was doing almost $1 million in sales, but if I wasn't taking home money, that doesn't do me any good. I can be working 6 7 days nonstop, but if I'm not building any equity or I'm not taking home any money, then it doesn't do me good. Cash flow is great as long as you're building equity in the business, and then you're able to take away that equity when you want to cash out. That is one way I would bust my ass and not, take home money, but I would build up the equity. So when I need to cash out, I would cash out for that, and that would be my profit on that. Um, so how we're able to implement things you learn at the Growth Conference into your business. That all depends on you. There's a lot of different aspects on how you're gonna take it. They talk about customer service. They talk about knowing the numbers. Like I said, there's also about their experience, how they started off. You have to be willing to trust in yourself, trust in the process, continue to do the same thing over and over again. Don't back down if you have a dream and you know it's something that you'll be successful at. I mean, those are some of the key things that the last conference was really good about. They even had a guy that talked about tax, how to take advantage, and how to make money with tax savings. A lot of stuff. Check your messages. Yeah, I don't lie. My bills are paid, and that's where I am. Hey, man, your bills are paid. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter if you have $1.48 if all your bills are paid. To me, that's a win-win. You can have $500,000 in your account, but if you got bills that are $1 million and they're not paid, you're in worse case than $1.48 with all the bills paid. $1.48 means you got no headache. You still have $1.48 and all your bills are paid. I'll go for that. Hard work don't equal success. Yeah, exactly. You got to know how to, turn that into success. That's where these growth conferences, these seminars, these classes, all that stuff is where you learn and implement from guys that have tested and done it to grow. Just because you're busting your ass doesn't mean that you're always going to be successful. Yes, you'll have a trade that you can turn if you know how to do it right. And that's the biggest problem with a lot of small businesses. A lot of small business guys work hard, but they don't become successful because the business runs them. They don't run the business. Once you understand that point, um, you will grow. Never give up on yourself and always believe in yourself. Hell yeah! I mean that's the way to kind of go off of it until October and all the bills are back. Laugh out loud. So there you go. We're in September. It's only September 11th. You got what 21 day? I'm sorry, 19 days that you got no worries on, or is this 30th month or 31st? Either way, you got 20 days. You don't got nothing to worry about. So 20 days gives you time to build for your October bill. So you're ahead of the curve. I like to pre-bill pay my bills, and when I pay off my mortgage that's 2 3 months out, that's when I know I'm successful. When I'm paying my mortgage month to month, I'm not successful. I'm stressing at that time when I'm paying my bills on time. When I'm paying my bills in advance, that's when I know I'm doing good. So that's where I talk about is like, hey, know your numbers. You want to be at a point where you can easily pay your bills in advance, like Jeremy is at $1.48, bro. I give you props because to me, you're doing a lot better than a lot of people if all your bills are paid and you still have $1.48. And no, I have to get to Virginia, but yeah, bro, you got a whole week. You're gonna kill it this whole week. Work hard, build up, get that funds, go to Virginia, go kill it over there, have fun, come back. You got another week or so that you're gonna be able to gather more money before your bills are due, and then you're still ahead of the curve. The thing is staying consistent, knowing the numbers, what time you got, how to schedule your installations, your time, your bills, all that stuff. Man, I don't know. Make your money work for you. That's the ultimate goal, is to make the money work for you. You have to be able to build the money, have that money to be able to do that. You can't, on an average work, there's no way you're going to be able to make the money work for you. Even with the 401k, it's only going to take you so far. You know, investments. The best way you can do investments is having equity, having diversified portfolio. You got income coming in from a lot of different ventures. A lot of people are doing these, are Airbnbs. A lot of people are investing in stock market. If you put everything in all your eggs in one basket, you will not succeed 90% of the time. There's always that 10% that you will, but you want to have it in, typically you want to have it in three different baskets. Okay. And that's where you're really going to have your money work for you, is when you have it in three different investments, and those investments, one is going down, but two are going up. It's just like playing a roulette. You go play roulette, you go play the outside boxes, and if you play out of six boxes, you play four. There's two boxes that you have a chance of losing on, but on those four boxes, if you're putting enough money in there, you're slowly gonna grow. That's a little cheat hat for roulette for you guys. Unless they hit that the zero, then you're messed up. But how often do they hit the zero? I don't know. Numbers thing, man. I go to Vegas. I've been going to Vegas since '98. I pick up on some of these things. Not trying to be a bad influence, just telling you what life experiences has thrown out there. Never rely on the government. Hell no, you should never rely on the government. Uh, Government is gonna put money in their pocket before they put money in yours. Okay, just let you know. I don't gamble, so I don't know what you're talking about. Hey, I don't gamble either. I just know is when I'm at Vegas, I pay attention. But you know, uh, we learn. No matter what, you always want to learn, even if you're not gambling. But it doesn't hurt to learn the roulette. It doesn't hurt to know blackjack. It doesn't hurt to know some of these other things that's going around you, how these people do what they do and how they make money. But going back to credit scores, guys, credit scores, you got to maintain your credit scores. I've got a good friend that had a great credit score. fell on some hard time, and he's kind of busted himself with a lot of debt, and now his credit score is in the 600s, and he went from over 780 down to the 600s in a very short time just because um, he thought he was doing well, and he started, spending money carelessly. And when you start spending money carelessly, that's what happens. We all got to check ourselves on that. Is that don't spend money carelessly. Only spend the money that you have as extra. If you're relying on your credit cards as your money to spend, that is the worst thing you can do because you're gonna put yourself in a hole. I heard a quote is instead of having a generational wealth, you're gonna have generational debt. You're putting yourself and your kids in debt because you're spending like an idiot. There's nowhere around it. Airbnb make more money in that the rent. I'm telling you. Yes, if you have the right Airbnb. A lot of people need to invest in proper Airbnb. If your Airbnb is being rented, if your Airbnb does not get rented, then you are gonna be in a hole because now you're making a payment or mortgage toward a property that is not bringing in enough to cover its bills because you need to cover the mortgage, you need to cover the insurance, you need to cover the utilities, and if you're doing Airbnb, you're doing the cleaning and all that stuff. So you need to cover all that stuff. If you can't cover all that stuff, then Airbnb. I have guys that invested in Airbnb like they did good on a couple Airbnb, so they went and bought a whole bunch of more, and then they lost money on it because they didn't invest properly. They didn't look into the market. Just looking at it right now, around Kissimmee, I was just talking about I was in Orlando, right? I lived in Orlando in 2006. Well, if you look up Airbnbs in around Orlando and Kissimmee near Disney, a lot of those Airbnbs are being put up for sale, and they're cutting price on those properties because Disney has slowed up in the uh, you know people coming into Disney. So there's not a lot of people that are renting all those fancy Airbnbs around Disney. Now, when they were renting out, they were making hella money because they were charging you, over $1,000 for one weekend. On average, you're spending $1,500 for a weekend at this Airbnb near Disney because usually most of these houses had a pool, had a decent house, and you're making $1,500. So those houses, even if their mortgage was three, you got 4 weekends sold, you're making 6 grand. You're still making good money on it. But if you don't invest in the right Airbnb, you will be in this doghouse. I just hit over 750. Pretty happy about that. Hell yeah, Tim! I'm super happy for you, bro. Congratulations. That's pretty quick, man. You were just at 740. Now you're over 750. Keep it up, man. Told you 780, man. We need to get you over to the 780 and into the 800 club. It's all extra. We came in with zero, and we'll leave with zero. Bro, here's what as a parent, you always want your kids to have an easier life. You always want your kids to not struggle as much as you did. You want them to enjoy more life than you did. So the best way you can do that is you can invest properly, you can educate them properly, and you can give them all the lessons that you made mistakes on so they don't have to make mistakes. That don't mean that they're not going to make mistakes. Kids are going to be kids. They're not going to listen. They're going to make their own mistakes. But if you can give advice, same thing like why this show is here, is that if I can advise somebody on the financials not to make mistakes, on running their credit cards, avoiding their collectors, not investing into eventually getting a house and just renting. If that's what you can do right now, that's fine. But you need to have a future mindset goal. One of the things that I see a lot of financial guys that succeed, they tell you, even at the last reunion, not this one, but the year before when we had the speaker, is that he talked about this guy having a future, writing down what they want to accomplish in a year, in 2 years, in 5 years, getting that mansion. And the only way they're gonna do it is if they write it down, they stick to it, they look at it, they hold themselves accountable, and they'll get it. They'll hit that no matter what. Look, man, we got Jason Amaleski, Tina Dude 3 here, who's got 37 credit cards and he's managing it like a king because you should be proud of me, Cash. I'm hella proud of you, bro. Like you a killer. 37 cards last time I checked, and he's using benefits from every single one of them. Hey man, look. Jason, just for you, I do want to show you if Jason's still here. Look what you made me do. I don't know if you can see this. Can I see it? Oh. You made me go get a damn Apple Card. Hey, I didn't realize that Apple Card does not have a card number on it. It does not have the credit card number on it. That is cool, man. I did not realize that. But Jason is the one that made me get that. 38 accounts, 760, 100% payments, 9% usage, Apple Card. Jason made me get that, man. Jason's like, hey, man, I use my Apple Card. So I had to get an Apple Card. I'm nowhere near 38 cards, but I love it. Jason, I actually did go up on my usage a little bit, bro. But I'm actually about to cut that down because I wanted to kind of play with it, see how far I got affected. I don't want to leave the 800 club. I want to stay in my 800 club, and one of my credit scores did go right under 800, and I was like, no, let's go. Let's get it. Let's start paying these things back off, and let's get it back to over 800. I think I hit 797 or 793 on one of them. But what I will be very proud of is I've had 3 cards in the last, I want to say 4 months that have, without me contacting them, have increased my credit limit. I'm very proud of that, guys. That is a super accomplishment for myself, is that when I get a notification saying, hey, your credit went up on its own without me calling them. And I've been advising you guys. Yeah, I understand, Jason. I've been advising you guys that every 6 months to a year, you want to have one time, call them up, review your credit, and ask for an increase. And if you got a card that does not increase on you, you need to let go of that card. I was gonna see if you guys can. Damn it, I hate this thing. You see that? Automatically, I didn't even call the card company. It went up on its own. I'm hella like inside. Woo! On a single card, on the personal side, I don't know. Should I share that online? I want to say it's well over 20. I'll put you at that. On a single card, on a personal side, I have well over. I have more than one card that's over 20. Let me put it that way. And that's as much as I kind of want to put it online. Now. Oh, and 5 of my cards increased by 3,000 last week. Hell yeah, bro. That's what's up. You got 38, man. You should have 5. I don't even have 10. I told you I try to keep the numbers low. I say concentrated and I focus on it. But on my business side, I do have that one card that I love on my business that does not have a limit. For me to have that, when I came, it's a game changer. It's a humbling feeling. It's a great feeling, and I'm getting choked up just talking about it. Um, on top of my shit. That's the way to do it, man. That's the only way you can do it. That's why I started off earlier at today as well, was that guys, no matter what, stay on top of your stuff. I took a friend, and I helped him get over. He started off in the low 500s, and he was over 780 at one point. He made some mistakes, and now he's in the 600s, and he's in debt. You can, with credit cards, that's the only thing that's really really dangerous, is that when you have so many cards, it's so easy to spend the money, because there's, like, accountability comes afterwards. So you spend it at that time not thinking, and then you put yourself in a hole that then you it may take you a very long time to dig out of. So please, like Jason said, stay on top of your shit and don't dig yourself in the hole. Yeah, my credit card I got before Tender Bell went up over 3,000 all on its own, but I pay 200 each month instead of 60 for the minimum. Yeah, Miriam talked about paying three payments to show that you're making multiple payments. Be on my show next. Uh, your show's on next. I thought your show's on tomorrow. Or am I lost? Are you asking me to be on your show? And that's why I believe my score went up 10 points real fast. Yeah, exactly. I was just about to say that. Like Jason said, set up auto pay. All your cards should have auto pay, so and then you should have good funds for that auto pay account to make sure that those minimum auto pays, and don't set it up minimum, bro. Whatever your minimum is, set it up a little bit above that. Auto pay that shit a little bit above that. Um, the next show, laugh alone. I'll message you. I got you, bro. I got you. You'll never miss a payment. Exactly. And that's where, like I said, Jason's advice was a while ago is auto payment. That's great advice, the best advice out there. Marion's advice was set up two or possibly three payments a month. That way you show more payments, transaction happening, and you're staying on top of that. I missed payments hurt your it missed a payments hurt your score. Yes. We talked about that it can be a really high percentage when you miss a single payment on your credit score, and on top of that, it will stay on most credit reports. It will stay 2 to 3 years, up to 5 years, if you miss a payment. And the biggest thing that a lot of people make mistakes and dig themselves in the hole for is when you do go in debt, please don't ignore those debt calls and collections. There is a method to working with the collectors. You don't, if you are in that debt pool or in that position, there's techniques that you can work your way out of debt with the payment plan. But if you're making a payment plan, it shows that you're staying credible, so it does not hurt your credit that bad. If you avoid them, yeah, you're gonna go down real quick, real fast. I've actually had somebody that contacted me that was actually in the 400s, and I was like, dude, how do you have it in the 400? And he himself did not know. Apparently his family used his credit without his knowledge when he was younger, and there was some stuff that was lingering that he never took care of. And it wasn't that much. It was just that it's now past due for so long that it's really dug him in the hole. So please be careful with that, guys. If only Dave Ramsey heard the conversation about credit cards. I'll message you this week, guys. I got you, bro. Hey, you're gonna be at the WFCT? I'll be out there next week too. Um, But anyways, guys, credit cards. Be careful with the credit cards. Never use a debit card. So if you got a debit card, please, please do not use a debit card. Use a credit card. Credit card is not your money. If you have any fraud on it, it's very easy to fight for that and make sure that your money does not get away. If you're using a debit card, that is your exact money in the bank that will disappear. It's harder to get back. It takes longer process, and you're out of money. If it's a credit card, you dispute it, they put that charge to the side until that situation is dealt with, so you don't have to pay for that. So that's why credit cards are highly preferred to use, but just learn to manage them properly. No matter how you do it, whether you use an app, whether you use a spreadsheet or whatever, um, stay on top of your shit. Simple as that, man. And hopefully everybody is very successful, and we can. Awesome. I'll see you at WFCT as well. We'll definitely talk. I gotta put another order in with the shirts as well. Actually, since I got you, or I don't know if he's still here or not, but one of my shirts got a little mixed up. But I'll talk to you later on that. Anyways, guys, if you got any questions or concerns, or you want me to talk about some particular subject, please hit me a message and we'll bring you up on the show and we'll go from there. But if you are in the market of buying a vehicle, if you can buy it cash, great. If you're gonna finance it, be very careful. Look for promos. Look for cars that's not moving that easily. Otherwise, you're going to be paying a really high interest rate, because interest rates are crazy. But just to let you know, they're not really crazy. They're the norm, and that's where it's going to be for at least for the near future. Never know what's going to happen tomorrow. All we can do is estimate, guesstimate, and kind of plan for it. So with that, I think I'm going to call it a night today, or tonight. Everybody have a great week. I don't think I'll do a show next Monday because I'm gonna be going out to WFCT Tuesday. But I am planning on doing a series of a show with somebody, if I lock it down, to be an educational show for a few different things. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. Stay tuned. Great show. What to do and not to do. Yeah, like I say, it was like a whatever show. I think it turned out a pretty good show. Thank you guys for being part of it, throwing your questions and suggestions up. Appreciate you all. Have a great night. Have a great week. I will see you on the next one.